Kershaw, Yates, Isola, McMullen. Everybody all right? I don't want to step on any toes here. Dodgers, Brewers, kick it up a notch.
That's a foul.
And maybe running out of pitchers. Sox giving the Astros something to capture on camera. And Jalen on Embiid, okay? What it looked like, and then the realization it wasn't what it was. Ball night. Come on, guys. Gotta give me a ball night. Ball night now. Yeah, we got that ball night now.
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Tony Reale.
It's a dirty play by a dirty player. I play baseball. I go out there and try to win for my team, so if that's their comments, those are their comments. So
the Manny Machado play and how or whether it looms over this series going forward is one thing. The 13 innings in 5 hours and 15 minutes of baseball and what happened to both teams' bullpens last night and happened to both teams' bats and the Dodgers winning 2-1 on the walk-off and the quick turnaround today, another thing. Tim Calishaw, I'll start with you. How does last night's 13-inning game change how this series is going to go?
I think right now it just becomes kind of an anything goes best of three. I think the Dodgers were in big trouble if they lost last night after getting shut out at home in Game 3. If they'd have been on the wrong end of a 2-1 5-hour game, we'd have just thought the Dodger bats are never going to come to life. But now with the series tied and the Brewers having gone to the bullpen for 12 of the 13 innings yesterday because they only got one inning from Gio Gonzalez, they're a little stuck today. But by the time it gets we know it's going at least 6. We know by then Josh Hader and the bullpen has had a day off. So I don't think the Dodgers have an advantage now. I just think they got back to from the precipice, got back to even.
Back from the precipice. Tim Calishaw. You've been there before with a lot of your picks. How about you, Clinton Yates?
I think this just makes it a monster start for Clayton Kershaw. All right, he's got 22 career postseason starts. He's at 500. He could opt out after this season. He had a shorter stint of the postseason last start. He was out. This makes this a high-pressure situation for him considering the bullpen scenario. And, again, he's believed to be the greatest pitcher that this team has seen in a really long time, but he hasn't exactly been great in October. I think this changes the way that this game looks for him in terms of what he means to the Dodgers, never mind just this team this year.
I'm not laughing at what you're saying, Clinton. Well, maybe I am. But everything you said is accurate. It's just we hear this every single Clayton Kershaw start. Last year, when they made it through the LCS and then made it to the World Series, well, I guess he's vanquished the demons. He can pitch in the postseason. Then you get back to this year, and it's like, oh, he's got to vanquish the demons, and then he has the start he has earlier. Keep on doing this. Frank Isola, how about you?
A big shout-out to Tim for doing the quick math. It's even. Yes, Tim, it's 2-2, the series. Come on now. Here's the thing. You know, when you get to the playoffs, and we see this all the time, pitching is at a premium. So if you're either manager, who do you want today taking the mound? You want Clayton Kershaw. To me, this is a big-time advantage to the Dodgers because you can't keep relying on your bullpen. At some time, at some point, you need an ace to go out there and give you quality innings, and I believe in Clayton Kershaw, especially at home. That's why the Dodgers going into this game, huge advantage.
And, Jackie, especially from last night, the 13 innings, the 5 hours, all the bullpen use, how does that change the outlook of the series in your eyes?
Well, it certainly changes the options you have coming out of the bullpen, and particularly Hader. You're not going to use – I don't think you're going to use him today. He's never pitched three for the next game. He's never pitched 3 outings in a row like that. I do find it, Clinton, your argument about Kershaw so fascinating. So I just want to get it clear. Now that it's 2-2, it's like this really, really big game. But if they were down to 3-1, it wouldn't be? No. I mean, wouldn't that be the signature game? Because Kershaw would save the season for the Dodgers? I mean, it's just interesting to me that everything comes back to Kershaw. Wade Miley will go for the opponent, and we know he's not going to pitch a long time because he hasn't so far, but maybe this is the one time he has to now because of the fact that all these guys out of the bullpen had to burn innings. So
okay, I think we need to invite Clinton Yates back into the discussion because, again, what you're saying 100% accurate about Clayton Kershaw. I was only mocking the point that every storyline is that he needs to always show up for them and be the greatest pitcher of all time. Go ahead.
I get that, but he can become a free agent after this year, which is why this has sort of a second level that I'm discussing. If it doesn't work out now, there might be thoughts that he's got to go somewhere else, which is kind of an awkward thing to think about when you're going into a game like this, is what I'm saying.
Okay. We need to move on the Machado play because you can watch this 100 times if you want. 100 times you're going to see him stick his leg out. and Spike. Is Machado playing dirty, and does he need to change? Frank, you want to start us off there?
Oh, come on now. You know, you're talking about Clayton Kershaw. Could be his last ever game at Dodger Stadium. Could be the same thing with Manny Machado. And what a way to go out. I mean, you know, Alex Rodriguez got criticized big time a few years back when he did that to Bronson Arroyo when he went to slap the ball out of his hands. This is just as worse, if not worse. He knows exactly what he's doing there. That is a dirty play, and there will be retaliation, whether it's in Game 5, a spring training game. It is coming for Manny Machado, courtesy of the Brewers.
Jackie McMullen.
It's a lot worse, Frank, than what A-Rod did, because someone could have gotten hurt in this particular case. Now, he's lucky that that isn't the case. There's no question Machado's a dirty player. I saw the spike of Dustin Pedroia. That was a dirty play. We can list them all, but you know what? Here's the funny thing about it. Manny Machado is a great baseball player, and it won't stop anybody, I believe, from signing him in free agency. Nobody, probably including the Dodgers. What will be interesting is what Joe Torre says about it. There's no doubt in my mind they won't suspend Machado, but they should give him some kind of warning. If it happens again, he will get suspended, and then maybe they can stop some of this nonsense.
I don't really think it's a suspendable play. I think it's a stupid play and a disrespectful play. You know, if Aguilar had been writhing on the ground, then it'd be a play you could suspend him for. I think it's careless. It's silly. There's no reason to be running on the inside of the baseline there. That's not going to help you in any way. And he just saw an opportunity to do something dumb, and he took advantage of it, if you want to call it that.
Jackie, you were talking about the library of video we have of Machado doing things similar to this, whether it's the spike to Pedroia or slides where his arms are flailing in the air like he's Elaine Bennett trying to dance. But he did tell Ken Rosenthal in an interview that hustling is not really his deal. You know, he's not Johnny Hustle, and he was admonishing himself for this, but he was acknowledging himself for that. So the free agency that's looming, which we brought up, how do you think prospective teams hear that, Clinton Yates?
I mean, look, he's Manny Machado. He's got a cannon, and he can mash. If you're telling me that because he's not running out 90-foot, you know, he's not running out the first when he gets rockets to shortstop, that you're not going to sign him for extra money, then you need to get a new GM. As for that play, it was Bush. It wasn't quite dirty. I think that's a matter for Dave Roberts, not for the league.
Frank Isola?
Yeah, well, there's a team right here in New York that just lost Didi Gregorius. I think the Yankees could live with it. They might not be happy with it, but they will throw crazy money at a guy like Manny Machado once he becomes a free agent.
Anyone else want to weigh in on that real quick? Jackie?
Of course they will. Everyone will throw money in because we don't care about all these things. What we care about is production. We don't care about decorum and good manners and running out fly balls. We never have cared about that. We care about production.
Well, you cared enough for the last 90 seconds to wonder if he was going to be suspended for a game.
We care.
Okay.
We care, but GMs don't care. Everybody's going to line up to sign this guy.
Let's move on. ALCS, Red Sox 8, Astros 2, just like none of you predicted. The Red Sox have to be the least respected 108-win team in recent history. Jackie?
Yes, sir.
Jackie?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Bradley Jr., the two biggest hits of this series. Now the Astros, for the first time this postseason, needing to answer some questions. Jackie? It was always Jackie. How does 5 and the 8th by the Red Sox change how this series is going to go?
Well, it certainly changes the folklore of one Jackie Bradley Jr., who everybody in Boston adores, but the rap has always been he can't hit. I mean, he was hitting 160 after a couple of months of this season. Like 160. Are you kidding me? Now he comes into the most important at-bat of his life, where he's 1 for 17 career. This past season with the bases full. And what does he do? He hits a grand slam. The biggest hit in this series, which, by the way, the previous biggest hit was the bases clearing double that he had in the previous game. So he's changed his own narrative.
Advantage Red Sox now that they've taken a game in Houston?
I will, because of this. The bullpen has performed so admirably, and that was something we were all worried about with the Red Sox, and they've really blown everybody away with
TC, how about you?
I give him a small advantage. I still think Verlander is the key pitcher in this series, only because Chris Sale has been hurt and he doesn't throw as many. He's not going to go as deep as Verlander. But this showed it's going to be different from last year's ALCS, where Houston owned the games at home against the Yankees, and they really turned the series around in those games. Now they've had it kind of slapped back at him. And when your number 9 hitter can do that, and Bradley was a good hitter after the All-Star break this year, it just shows how deep that Red Sox lineup is.
See why?
Yeah, it gives serious questions, too, for Hinch's bullpen. I mean, what do you do when putting Joe Smith in that situation, who has not been great, hasn't thrown since September, and then Osuna doesn't look good either? That's the reason why I'm worried about the Stros, because that was something they did so well last year. That's why I'm giving the advantage to the Red Sox. The Stros have major questions in their bully right now.
Frank Isola.
I'm surprised none of you mentioned it. Once again, a Game 3, Eovaldi on the road, hostile environment, and you get a big-time start out of him. To me, Alex Cora is pushing all the right buttons. They've played 3 road games, and they have been terrific in terms of timely hitting, bullpen starts. And you to go into Houston and hold that lineup down like that's an unbelievable job by the Red Sox starter and their bullpen.
Speaking of the Astros needing to answer questions, we have to talk about this. The Astros cheating allegations, which now has reporting from everywhere and multiple instances, it seems. MLB is looking into it right now. If someone from Houston was taking photos or video of the Red Sox in the dugout. Cleveland also reportedly alerted MLB last series. The A's reportedly earlier this season. The Dodgers reportedly in the last World Series. The vagary of this is real. The timing of this is immense. Frank, is this something already, or do we need to wait and see?
Come on, Tony. This has always been a part of baseball. They talk about Bobby Thompson shot heard around the world, the Ralph Branca famous play, that there was cheating going on then. So it's a small story. It's a small part of this series. I really don't think it's that big of a deal.
You don't think it's a big deal? Okay, well, let me introduce Jackie by saying, Jackie, you're in Boston. Is this a big deal?
About it.
Well, I never thought deflating footballs was a big deal or videotaping things, and I learned differently. Spygate was probably one of the biggest scandals in NFL history. So I don't think this is a big deal, but I guarantee you somebody will make it a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the team is thinking about this in any way?
No, I do not. I do not. In
Kalisha,
fact, they say that they were taping it because they thought the Red Sox were stealing. Sorry.
This may sound like the state of Texas response to this question, but there's some thought that the Astros believe the Red Sox were filming something they weren't supposed to be filming, and so the Astros are down there taking pictures of their photographic equipment.
Okay, that would explain Boston. Would it explain also Cleveland? Would it also explain Oakland? Would it explain L.A. from the year before?
Let's go one at a time.
Tim's like, I'm in Dallas, not Houston, baby. Come on, Clinton, last word.
If you don't want people to steal your signs, get better signs. That's how that works. Come on now. What are we talking about?
Good. All right. How's the signage right now on your score, Yates? 14. You got some work to do. Fire's still on the other side. Stick around. Isola with a 20. He thought Alex Cora was pushing the right button. 20 on the board.
Fact is, every insurance company